there's a guy named Ime coming from Japan who is a free agent, and it's like, could you imagine if they would have gotten a Bellinger and an Ime? Like, that would have been an incredible offseason for the Yankees because it
Or it
goes.
wouldn't have been. Have you ever seen Ime lift his arm?
I haven't. But also the
I
same.
mean, like we don't know that.
We don't.
It's all projectable.
Correct.
And we don't.
But it goes to the larger point about the starting rotation and the concerns.
Ime is the backup quarterback. We haven't seen him, so we're gonna.
That's right.
And by the way,
that's right.
And it's a period of time right now where obviously Japanese players, especially on the Dodgers, are so special that it feels there's a fervor for it, right? And I think Yankee fans are frustrated. Hey, there was that time, Matsui, Arabu, Tanaka, where they dominated the market. Again, I would suggest it was a time where the Dodgers were not owned by the Guggenheims, right? The Mets were not owned by Steve Cohen. It's a different forum. And I do think Japanese players will gravitate to the West Coast, closer to home, better start times for their family back home to watch games, etc. So the Dodgers have a huge advantage, and good for them. They press the advantage. Oh, and Ohtani changes everything. They're so big in Japan because Ohtani's so big. But it is tougher to get in the market. But I don't think you should get in a market just to do that. Like, it's the right player. I remember 2 years ago when Murakami was first talked about. I'm telling you, if we did our show then, it would be like, hey, whenever that guy becomes a free agent, the Yankees better go get that guy.
Yeah.
Now, do you even hear his name?
No.
Like, it's funny. It's like I talk to a lot of people, and there are a lot of people like worried about that guy's like strikeout numbers, not hitting velocity in Japan where it's not like now. And then there's people like, he's a great worker. He has athletic skills, whatever. He's going to learn how to hit here. He's going to be a real difference maker. Nevertheless, 2 years ago, if I would have told you Yankees win, weren't even going to think about it. Be like, oh, that's house cheap. Why isn't he in Japan? Whatever. And so it's just the changing perception of players we don't even see play. We have differing opinions on those we just watched play 162 games.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about the guys we haven't even seen. It's like, oh, look.
He's the next hot thing. He's the next hot thing. That's what it is.
Somebody said to me the other day, a Yankee fan like yourself said to me, the Yankees should do everything they can to get Skubal, but they shouldn't trade Cam Schlittler. And I looked at him and I went, what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he goes, I go, 12 months ago, you didn't even know who Cam Schlittler was. Today, the best, if you're telling me that, the Yankees traded Michael King with 2 years left for Soto. You positive this guy's going to be better even than Michael King, who's really, really good? Maybe he's a young ace. Maybe he's the next Cole. But like 12 months ago, you didn't know who the hell Cam Schlittler was. Today, like if there was an alien invasion and they said, we're going to blow up the planet if you don't beat us at baseball, the guy the human race would start against the aliens is Tarek Skubal, right? Like to save humanity.
Yeah.
And you're not trading Cam Schlittler
That's
for him?
crazy. I would trade him in a heartbeat for Tariq Skubal.
Right.
Come on, man.
It's like, oh, you can't trade George Lombard. I'm like, you can't.
You
like,
can.
Do you feel this is how you felt about Anthony Volpe until you saw him play baseball?
Well, the Yankees needed a shortstop too. They needed a shortstop. I mean, look,
but you know what I mean? It's like, I'm always worried about when people talk about players they haven't seen play, because we're going to have such differing opinions on the ones we have seen play.
Correct.
And so like Ime might be terrific, Ryan, or, he might be Kei Agawa too, for all we know.
So do you think there's actual interest in the Yankees for a player like Ime?
I think that's not, the Yankees have 3 very, very expensive starting pitching contracts in Rodon, Fried, and Cole. I would be surprised if there was a 4th in the offseason before Skubal becomes a free agent.
That makes sense. Then the question would be
on an unknown. Unknown quantity who there are people who like him a great deal, who I respect, who I talk to, and there are people who are like, I think there's a little bit of a fervor because of what happened with the Dodgers. He's good, but not that.
Yeah.
And so people talk more about him being a number 3. And there's probably, like, if you're telling me you're going to take risk on number 3, I would just try to bring Michael King back home.
Well, because
it's going to be less years or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to cost you less too.
and again, Michael King's a pitcher and a person I like a great deal. Um, but I don't think the Yankees are going to spend a lot. I think they might get another starter. I think the Yankees, and I think this is a mistake. I think the Yankees look at it that their rotation at some point is going to become a great strength next year when they get Rodon and Cole back.
Yeah, I read into the Cashman comments last night too about that too.
I I don't I don't believe you ever get the starting rotation you believe you're going to get. Like, there's never like that full moment where all five guys are standing and going well for a sustained period of time. It's too fragile. It's too whatever. Now, having said that, Ryan, on on this webcast a lot last year, the rotation was always the big worry I had about the Yankees, that they were one more injury away from falling off the face of the earth. They never had that injury, the one more beyond the one where it became out. But it's not just a Cole Rodon issue for me. Max Fried pitched way more than he's ever pitched in his life last season. Schlittler and Warren pitched way more than they have. Luis Gil is a constantly injured pitcher. Ryan Yarbrough is a swing man. To me, this idea of, well, we have those five guys to hold the fort until Cole and Rodon come back. I would say I don't gamble. I don't have an app. I don't do any of it. But if you told me there was a bet, do the Yankees survive 6 weeks of spring training where Fried, Hill, Warren, Schlittler, and Yarbrough are all healthy on March 20, whatever the thing is?
No way.
So already now you're down to what? Alan Winans? Trying to rush Elma Cruz Rodriguez. Yeah. So I would go get another starting pitcher.
Well, do they go in the trade market for that? Is because again, I hear names like Sandy Alcantara, Joe Ryan. There's guys out there. Yeah, you're rumors. But
I think Miami's much more likely to trade Edward Cabrera.
I would take him in a heartbeat too.
Then yeah, it's again like that is. Is it Lombard? Is it Spencer Jones? Is it?
I'm trying to win a championship, right?
I get you. I would just buy it. Whatever that next level of starter is, I'm going to make up a name. I don't think they're in on this play.
Okay.
So I feel comfortable making up the name.
Yeah.
Like if you told me you could sign Merrill Kelly for like 2 years and whatever, because he's an older starter. I think he can handle New York. I think he's a legitimate number 3 starter. I think you could start him in a playoff game. And like, if I get to the point where all my starters are healthy and I'm like trying to figure it out, I'll make a trade during the season. I'll use the optionality on guys like Warren and Schlittler, who I'll probably want to slow down during the season. And I'll just wait for the next injury to happen.
Yeah.
I think they should go get a real starting pitcher.
Me too.
Who fits in there. It doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to be a one, but it's got to be somebody who helps you. And you imagine like this idea that like Rodon and Cole are just going to come back. And then when they come back, they're going to roll. The other thing I would think about with Rodon and Cole is you need to try to be like the Dodgers. The Dodgers could have started Ohtani on day 1 last year. They contemplated having Ohtani pitch out of the bullpen in the 2024 postseason. Think about that. And then they slow played him, and it didn't start until like, was it late May, June, whatever. I think that Rodon and Cole, especially Cole, off of Tommy John, need to be on that program, which is have arrogance that you're going to play important games starting October 1st. And you say to Cole, I'll see you June 1st. Could you start on May 1st? Sure. I'll see you June 1st. Because if I got 130 innings from you, I got to save 30 of them for the postseason.
I completely agree with you, Joel. It's
so
a smart way to play.
I would slow play Rodon, who's been a heavily used starter the last 2 seasons for that. I mean, I heard, again, I'm not here to make excuses for players. Somebody told me by the time the Yankees reached the playoffs last year, Rodon couldn't even straighten out his arm. That's how bad the chip was in the elbow, so he couldn't really throw his slider. And I give him credit. He went out there, did his best, whatever. Like Rodon is changing opinions about him in his time as a Yankee. But he needed to go get that procedure and get the chip dealt with.
Didn't they say there was even more to clean up than they thought when they went in there?
Well, I think that he was just in a situation where he was a compromised starter. He
Yeah.
was able to throw the ball, but he wasn't able to, his slider is his most important pitch. Again, that is by the way, I'm not reporting anything. That's secondary. I did not hear that from Carlos Rodon or like Matt Blake or Brian Cashman. I heard it from somebody associated with the team who was an admirer of Rodon who said, I'm telling you, this guy gutted it through the end of the year for us. So, I would give him some time. He's been heavily, for a guy who, in the early part of his career, the questions about durability, he was really durable these last 2 years. And so, because I'm talking about slow playing two of your main starting pitchers, because I have lack of faith in Luis Seal staying healthy, because I worry, like, Cam Schlittler might be great, or Cam Schlittler might have been a
Flash
shot in the
pan.
dark. We
Yeah.
just saw the best of Cam Schlittler,
Yeah.
or he gets hurt, or Will Warren. It's like, I would go get a starting pitcher and worry if I have too many at any point, because you know what you're not going to have? Too many.
I completely agree with you, Joel. I could not agree with you more on this exact topic.
And it doesn't have to be an ace, Ryan.
No,
like
it doesn't.
To me, it's got to be a guy you feel good will, after 5 or 6 innings, hand with a good offense behind him and what you hope is a good bullpen, hand the ball to Aaron Boone with a chance to win the game regularly.
Right.
I mean, it would be better if you could find another. I mean, maybe you roll the dice on someone like Cabrera, who's also off injured. He's injured every year, but man, he is talented. And you're thinking, hey, with our medical staff and our pitching lab and everything, do we translate unhealthy number 3-ish starter into something else?